Hey, how's it going, everyone? I'm KPG, and welcome back to some more Triangle Strategy. In the last episode, we went ahead and retook Whiteholm Castle, and in doing so, we retook Glenbrook as a whole. It is now no longer under the influence of Esfrost. Cordelia was nearly killed with an arrow, but she was able to survive. Gila was able to heal her up, and things went well with that. I mean, she's still recovering, but other than that, she's alive, which is great. And she abdicated the throne, and now Roland is the king of Glenbrook, which is pretty much what happened in the last episode. And today we're going to probably just be doing some story stuff, see what's going on, and I don't know. I don't think we're going to be able to get around to doing a battle in this episode. I'm assuming we're probably just going to be mainly seeing what's happening in the story. But before we get into that, we got a promotion item at the end of the last map, or at least somewhere in the last map, and now we are able to promote someone, and I think we're just going to go with Serenoa because, I mean, he's the main character, so I don't really know who else we'd go for. I mean, we could do, like, literally any one of our main 8, or we also have Archibald and Izana are also ready to promote. But like I said, I think for me it makes the most sense if we just go with Serenoa first, because he is our main guy. So I think that's what I'm going to do. Let's see what this does for him. So he's going to become a sword master. He's going to learn shielding stance. Take 50% of damage for a selected ally for 2 turns. You can only take damage when within 3 squares of the target. Interesting. I mean, that could probably be useful in certain situations, but that seems kind of like highly specific. But other than that, he gets a boost to his strength, accuracy, evasion, luck, and HP, and he also gets an extra TP. I still don't know what that means, but he gets an extra TP. So yeah, let's go ahead and do it. I wish I could see like the before and after, right? Like I wish I could go over to strength and be like, oh, it's going up by 2 points or 1 point or whatever. I assume these are probably all just 1 point, but I don't know, they could be more, and I wish I knew the exact amount. So I knew, how good of a promotion it is. Not like it really matters. I don't think there's any incentive to wait on promoting in this game like there is in Fire Emblem.
Shall attest to my convictions.
Yep, so we learned shielding stance, and we have reached the end of this path, which means there is no more promotions past Elite, which makes sense. And I think that also means he's officially learned all of his abilities, so Serenoa is as good as he's going to get. At least in terms of, like, his abilities and his class. Obviously, he can still get better by leveling up, or if we give him different, like, held items or whatever. I don't know what those are called. I'm just going to call them held items like they are in Pokemon, but I don't know what it is, or his inventory item things that he has. I don't really know what those are called. Accessories? I don't know. Doesn't matter. In any case, Serenoa is fully promoted and knows all of his abilities, which is pretty cool. So we have 2 main story things to do. I checked already and there is no side story stuff going on right now. So here Roland takes steps to rebuild the Crown City, but Patriatte and the Royalists have other ideas. Or Frederica hears the voices of the people as she walks the city streets. Let's do this one first. Let's see what the people are thinking of our takeover of Glenbrook. Most of them are probably not going to be very happy based on what we've heard in the last episode.
There are more who accepted Esfrost's rule than I imagined.
Glenbrook's history is long. Yet, that is why hierarchy and precedent hold sway. This is a stubborn land, my lady, not given to easy change. Though Archduke Gustadolf, acting in the name of freedom, granted privilege after privilege to the powerful. For people used to Glenbrook's rigid customs, I suppose that sort of change must have been too seductive to resist.
Perhaps. But his freedom was naught but greed and cruelty.
Lady Frederica, I've been searching everywhere for you.
A Wolfort messenger. Did you run all this way? What's happened?
My lady, I hail from Castle Wolfort, bearing tidings of Lord Symon.
Has he awakened?
He has.
Oh?
He is in high spirits and recovering well.
Really?
He is most pleased to hear of the capital's recapture. He bids you visit Castle Wolfort so he can honor you himself.
Oh, I must bring these glad tidings to Serenoa at once. How long it has been since I've seen him smile.
There is one more bit of news I have for you, my lady, but it is not so happy.
Is there some sort of trouble in the Wolfort domain?
Bandits are laying waste to the Rosellan village.
Oh. That's not
To our
good.
shame, Castle Wolfort does not have enough soldiers to stop this. We would beg Lord Serenoa's wisdom in this matter.
The enemy must be powerful indeed. We cannot leave the Rosellan village defenseless.
Let us inform the others. Messenger, with us.
Milo.
Well, well. Things are about to get interesting.
Yep, so she is acting as a spy, just sort of checking up on what's going on. But that is good that Serenoa's dad is awake. I didn't know that... I don't know. His condition is so weird to me. Like, I don't think we really know much about it other than... Was it like something having to do with his heart maybe or something? I don't remember exactly what it was. But he was definitely weak. I remember that much. But I don't know. It's good that he's awake though. Well, I guess we'll see what's going on with that probably pretty soon. But first, let's see what's going on with Roland.
A coronation ceremony. Certainly there are more important matters to focus on right now.
A coronation is important to assuage the people's fears and restore their faith, besides which it is the Royalists' most fervent wish. A kingdom is only truly as strong as people believe it to be, and right now the world believes Glenbrook weak. The ceremony will be a display to the contrary.
Is this truly the remedy our situation calls for? Right now, I imagine the people care only for where their next hot meal will come from.
Rest assured, sire, House Wolfort will see your subjects shan't go hungry. But trust me when I say nothing will hasten Glenbrook's return to her former glory, so much as announcing the return of Regna's rightful heir. To win your subjects' hearts, you need do nothing but ascend to your position upon the throne.
I don't know that that's gonna do it.
You mean sit my royal backside on a fancy chair?
In a manner of speaking. A king's duty is first and foremost serving as his kingdom's symbol. You needn't trouble yourself with day-to-day governance. We will assume that burden.
Oh, so they're just wanting to have all the control to themselves.
After all, you have only just been crowned.
There will be no ceremony. The people will tell us what they need, and you will listen to them, Patriatte. That is my command.
As you wish, King Roland.
How fare things, Suette? Have the relief supplies been given to those who need it?
Well, we had received a sizable shipment of goods from Hyzant, but there are complaints. It seems very few of those goods have made it into the hands of the people.
And why is that?
We aren't certain, though apparently Patriatte and the Royalists involve themselves with the distribution.
Oh, that's not good.
Damn those Royalists! They cannot be left to their own devices.
Yeah, so all they care about is they just want to be the ones pulling the strings. Huh. Well, it seems like we've always got some enemy. There's always something going on. Oh, wow, are we already... We're already to the scales of conviction, dang. Crazy, I wasn't expecting to get there that fast. Well, we do have a side story. Is that the only one? Looks like that's probably the only one we have. Alright, well, let's do that first then, and then I guess we'll have to make our scales of conviction choice. That was fast. But, I mean... I suppose probably the closer to the end of the game we get, I would imagine more of the focus is probably going to be on battling, maybe? I don't know. We'll see what happens, I guess. Anyways, with Glenbrook reclaimed and Esfrost dealt a heavy blow, Hyzant takes the opportunity to make a strategic move, as they do. All they care about is turning any situation to their own advantage. That's literally how Hyzant has been the entire time.
House Wolfort and Minister Exham's forces have reclaimed the Crown City. And not only that, they have dealt a heavy blow to the Esfrosti forces in killing Thalas and other commanding officers.
We couldn't have hoped for a better outcome.
Oh, to see Gustadolf's face when he hears the news. Now he'll have no choice but to come crawling to us on hands and knees, begging for salt. Though, this could be our chance to crush the duchy once and for all.
Just because they're licking their wounds does not make them easy prey. They still have their iron, after all.
Ha! Iron. We can get iron. All we need do is make Glenbrook hand over the Grand Rosellan mines to us. A paltry price to pay for our bountiful aid in their restoration of the Crown City.
The Grand Rosellan mines. The spark that lit the flame of Esfrost's aggression.
Right, yeah, because there was some material in there that they wanted for themselves and were keeping secret, and that was, like, worth waging this whole war over. I imagine it probably has something to do with the weapon they were building.
But why go through the trouble to seize an iron source when they have all the iron they could ever need? I should have Milo look into the matter.
Minister Idor?
Well, regardless, we control the salt. I say we bide our time until Esfrost...
Sorry, I think the recording messed up there for a second.
Besides, Glenbrook seeks our aid in their reconstruction efforts, do they not?
Yes. King Roland and Minister Serenoa have both asked for help, and sent reports detailing the extent of the damage to the Crown City.
Send forth a veritable bounty. To Minister Serenoa of the Saintly Seven, that is.
Ah, yes. A show of the goddess's grace to the people, and as a wedge to drive between him and the king.
Esfrost, Glenbrook, they will both be ours before long.
So Hyzant is seeking to, like, gain control over all of the land, or something like that? To take over the entire continent? Huh. So really, Glenbrook is the only decent country in this game. In this whole... Yeah, in the continent of Norzelia, literally, Glenbrook is the only good kingdom. Esfrost and Hyzant both suck. That's basically the moral of the story. Wow. Alright then. The paths before House Wolfort diverge, meaning they will have to go their separate ways for the first time. Which way will Serenoa take? Alright, let's see what's going on. Let's see what our decision's going to be.
Thank you all for helping to determine the extent of the damage to the capital. This information will be invaluable as we proceed with reconstruction. There is also happy word from Castle Wolfort. My Lord Father is awake. They say he is recovering apace and is already up and walking.
Those are glad tidings indeed.
He says he would like to see us and hear of all that has passed while he was taken ill.
Then what are we waiting for? I'll saddle the horses.
I wonder how long it's been since, like, he fell ill and was, like, needing bed rest. I wonder what the timeline is for this game, because I don't really know how much time has passed. Like, how long has it been since, you know, Esfrost originally, like, took over Glenbrook, and then, you know, between then and us actually, like, reclaiming it. Like, I wonder what the timeline is.
Would that we could depart at once, but the messenger brought another piece of news.
Bandits plague the outskirts of the Rosellan village.
Jerome and his folk are there. They can handle a few mangy thieves, surely.
Not according to the messenger. The bandits are proving a formidable foe.
Which is why they have asked us for aid.
Do we have to choose whether or not to give them the aid?
Apologies for my tardiness. It's sudden, I know, but I must ask you a favor.
Oh, no.
What is it?
We're gonna have to choose between several things, huh?
I suspect Patriatte and his Royalists of filching relief supplies.
We've no proof it's them, but the fact remains. The people in most need of those goods are not receiving them.
The matter warrants investigating at the very least, and I would ask for Wolfort's assistance.
I see. Well, we were just discussing what we ought to do next. Allow me to explain the 3 courses of action before us. 1. Return to Castle Wolfort as my Lord Father requests.
Yeah, I would like to do that, but I feel like we have much more pressing matters at hand.
2. Defend the Rosellan village from bandits. Or 3. Remain in the capital to investigate the Royalists.
Lord Symon has recovered. What splendid news. If I could only go to him myself and thank him for all House Wolfort has done. But I cannot leave the capital in the throes of a possible scandal. Too many hold the royal family in contempt as it is.
That may be the case, but now that Lord Symon has awoken, someone must make sure he is healthy and apprise him of recent events. I would go to Castle Wolfort, Lord Serenoa, if it pleases you.
My heart breaks for the Rosellan village. Let me go to its defense, even if I must go alone.
Oh, so are we going to have to choose, like, who we go with to do which thing? Well, if Frederica's going to the Rosellan village, then we're definitely going with her, because I don't want her dying over there trying to defend them against a threat she can't handle on her own.
I cannot allow that. It's far too dangerous a task for one person.
Well, I would have the Wolfort soldiers with me, of course. Besides, do you recall our first meeting?
Of course I do. You were being assailed by rogues at the port.
If you hadn't been there, who knows what would have become of me. But I am not as weak now as I was then. I am stronger, enough that I shall bring no dishonor to House Wolfort's name.
That's all well and good, but you know you can pretty much only attack once every, like, couple turns, right? Because of the fact that your magic takes 2 TP.
My lord, have faith in me. Let me do this.
I don't like the idea of sending her in alone.
Very well.
Like, I really feel like we should go with her. I don't want her dying over there.
It seems best that Benedict, Frederica, and I each attend to these pressing matters, separately.
Huh. Alright then.
Indeed, but the rest of us cannot be in 3 places at once. We can only choose one path to take. Bring the scales of conviction.
So is this decision going to be, like, up to everyone but Frederica, Roland, and Benedict? I cannot help but feel restless. We reclaimed the Crown City and have already begun restoration efforts. There should be no question as to what needs to be done here. And yet, something has me unsettled. Alright then. So Benedict votes for return to Wolfort and tells Symon that Glenbrook has been reclaimed. Roland and Hewitt want to remain in the Crown City and expose the corrupt Royalists. Frederica and Gila want to travel to the Rosellan village and investigate the bandits. And then Anna and Erador are undecided. So we have to try to convince those two to do what we want to do. So yeah, my main thing is, like, if we actually are, like, splitting up to go do, like, go our separate ways, I think there are very different, like, I don't know. I don't think returning to Wolfort and telling Symon that Glenbrook has been reclaimed, I don't think that that's, like, super pressing. I feel like Benedict could totally handle that on his own. Right? Like, there's no real reason why the rest of us would need to go. I mean, obviously, it would be nice if Serenoa could go see his father now that he's awake. I don't know. All of these options have me worried that something's going to go terrible with the other two. Whichever one Serenoa doesn't do, the other two are probably going to have some sort of terrible outcome. Like, if we don't return to Wolfort, then, I don't know, Symon's suddenly going to get much worse and die while Serenoa is away, and that would really suck. Right? Like, that would be horrible. Or if we don't return to the Crown City, or remain in the Crown City and expose the corrupt Royalists, then maybe they have some plot to seize power from Roland, and us being away means that we're not able to help or something like that. Or if we don't travel to the Rosellan village to help investigate the bandits, then maybe the Rosellan village will be destroyed and Frederica will die or something like that. Like, there are some pretty bad outcomes that could happen in each of these three. Like, I think this is probably the most, like... This is one of the hardest decisions we've probably been faced with so far in the game, because it's like... There's so... It's not like... Because we're sending different of our units into different places, right? Different people in our party are going different places. It's not like we're just choosing between two different decisions for our whole army to do. We're deciding who Serenoa is going to accompany and try to help out. So I think this is a pretty difficult choice to make. I will say it looks like returning to Wolfort is probably the hardest decision to make, which, I mean, kind of makes sense, because it's probably the one that I would imagine the least amount of people would choose, would be to return to Wolfort to see Symon. And, yeah, that's, like, the only one that, like, has one vote. The other two have 2 votes. I also think this is the first time we've had 2 people be undecided, interestingly enough. But yeah, I don't know, like... I feel like the one I want to do is travel to the Rosellan village. I think I want to do that the most. Just because I'm, like, really worried about Frederica and the Rosellan people. I feel like that has the biggest chance of going poorly without Serenoa's help. Because they're facing an absolute danger. The other 2 things are, like, there's possibilities for something to go wrong, but it's not guaranteed that something's going to go wrong, you know? Like, who knows? Maybe Symon will be just fine. I mean, he might be a little disappointed that Serenoa didn't come with, but I'm sure he'd understand, like, oh, Serenoa's helping protect the Rosellan people. Like, good for him. Like, maybe everything's totally okay there. Or maybe exposing the corrupt Royalists, maybe Roland and Huet alone would be able to take care of that, you know, and not have any issues. Or at the very least, even if they're not able to do it, maybe nothing happens with, like, the Royalists trying to do anything drastic. Also, I just noticed that there was those 2 things, so I grabbed them. I don't know, let's see if we can find any other items while we're at it. But, yeah, I don't know. Like, I really don't know. But I feel like the Rosellan village one is like, the most pressing concern. Because we know for a fact that they're under attack by bandits, and that it's seeming like they can't handle them alone. Of course, Frederica would go there on her own with a bunch of soldiers, and she is strong, so potentially she could help them on her own. But if we sent her there and then Frederica died, I would absolutely not be okay with that choice. So I feel like I'm probably going to lean toward traveling to the Rosellan village. I mean, I'm going to talk to everyone first before I try to make any decisions, or, you know, try to start convincing people to change their mind. I'm thinking I'm going to try to do that first. Also, I wonder what happens if this ends up in a tie. I was just thinking of this, like, what if Anna decided to side with, like, Roland, and then Eridor decided to side with, like, Frederica or something like that, and we ended up with, like, 2 3s. I wonder what would happen then. Does Serenoa get to cast a deciding vote? But anyway, yeah, I feel like I'm just leaning towards going to the Rosellan village. I think, like, there's just too much that could go wrong there. Like, yeah, I just think that that's probably going to be what I decide to do. But let's talk to everyone else first and see what their thoughts are. I will remain here in the capital, but you needn't worry about me. You must decide where you need to be, friend. Roland has already chosen a path, so we can't... Okay, so the people that have already chosen can't be... We can't change their minds, obviously, that makes sense. So Benedict, Roland, and Frederica aren't going to be able to have their minds changed. I wouldn't be surprised if Huette and Gila also were unwilling to change their minds, but we'll see. We may have freed the capital from Esfrost's clutches, but there is still so much work to be done. As a member of the King's Guard, I wish to stay here and help unify the Crown City. Okay, but no, she can have her mind be changed, potentially. So it's literally just Benedict, Roland, and Frederica that are for sure on what they're going to be doing. Which makes sense, because the game did say, like, hey, these three are going their separate ways, you know? Alright, Benedict. I just talked to you for the fun of it. As the steward of House Wolford, it is my duty to let Lord Symon know what happened while he was ill. Benedict has already chosen a path. Hello, soldier friend. Concierge, are you heading out, my lord? We can go outside. Is there stuff outside of interest? Because I'll go outside then, if there is an outside to go to. Are we going to get some information out here to use for, like, trying to persuade people, maybe? Huh. Well, I guess let's investigate out here first, then. I must admit, I am deeply fascinated by you, Lord Serenoa. A lord-turned-saint who won back his kingdom from Esfrosty clutches and saw the prince back to his throne. I can only wonder how your people will welcome such a hero home. Pray allow me to accompany you, my lord. If I go to Wolford, I suppose Milo will be coming with me. You learned about Milo's destination. Alright, cool. So I guess we could use that as a bargaining chip for, like, oh, let's return to Wolford. Or, I don't know. Some information we could use somehow, I guess. Our salt reserves are running low. We must restore trade with Hyzant as soon as possible. As one of the Saintly Seven, isn't there anything you can do? You needn't worry so much. The consortium and merchants are already on the move. Let us give them some time. If we rush into negotiations, we may be taken advantage of. It is in our best interest to wait for the opportune moment. That's true. We must have King Roland's permission before we act. In the meantime, we can share a portion of Wolford's stores with the Crown City. Let's go with this one, because it's the truth. So, I mean, it's what we're probably doing right now. Aye, negotiations ought to be done with a level head, after all. Our reserves won't last forever, but will hold long enough. I would think stores of salt nearly depleted after the trade stop. We already had some stocked up for emergencies, but the Esfrosty army brought a whole bunch more. So the duchy has salt to spare. I suppose that really means they were preparing for war for some time. You've put my mind at ease, Lord Wolford. I cannot thank you enough. Alright, well, nothing useful there for us, but I guess interesting to know about the situation with Esfrost. You, my friend, to think that King Roland was alive all this time. Your house has my utmost respect for helping him reclaim the capital. My allegiance to the royal family shall not waver, not now or ever. Well, good on you, my friend. I heard some bandits were spotted on the outskirts of the Rosellan village. Rumor has it they're led by some father and daughter duo. You've got to be kidding me. It's those two? It's literally those two? From way back in Chapter 1. It's literally the same people from Chapter 1. Well, we could have a rematch with them. Or a round 2, I guess. Not really well, I mean, it is a rematch, but saying it like that makes it sound like we lost the first time. But we won, of course. Otherwise, we wouldn't have made it here. What were their names again? A father and daughter. That sounds like Travis and Trish. But what could they be after? What indeed? Family banditry. Well, I mean, if it's just those two, I mean, Frederica might be fine on her own, but who knows? Probably still going to go with them. Lord Serenoa, I have heard great things about you. You were appointed one of the Saintly Seven and even demonstrated your prowess as a lord of a high house in battle. How should we Royalists address you from now on? Serenoa's fine. I don't know. Probably, anyway. Okay. Well, anything else of interest down here? Like anything at all? Just a stump. Obtain superior timber. This is a big stump. Well, doesn't look like there's... Wait, did I see something shining over here? Yes, another superior... Or no, superior stone. I think we got something else earlier. Well, I guess she's the last one we need to talk to. We Royalists, along with Minister Patriatte himself, are helping to rebuild the capital. We must reverse all the changes that Esfrost has wrought and see the crown city back to its former glory. I know that there are many problems facing the kingdom now, but us Royalists are more than happy to take care of everything. Let us serve King Roland together. Please see to domestic affairs and reassure the people that everything will be okay. Is it true that the Royalists tried to win the Archduke's favor in order to protect themselves? Probably not the best thing to be asking. If you want our trust, tell us everything you learned about Esfrost under their rule. Probably best to not let them think that we're onto them, or that we're suspicious of them. So we'll just say that. We would be honored to, my lord. Together, I am sure this kingdom will thrive like never before. By the by, is there anything House Wolfort needs? If there is anything House Wolfort needs, simply say the word. Just between you and me, us Royalists have our ways of getting our hands on certain things. Enough. I will say this only once. King Roland will not tolerate any sort of injustice, even from Royalists. A new king sits upon the throne now. Things will not be as they once were. I shall take your words to heart. Alright, well... I always forget that you can run in this game. Dang. Always walking at base speed when I could be running. Huh. Oh well. I think we got everything we could from out here. Any possible information to use as some sort of leverage or, I don't know, try to convince people.
Lord
You're
Serenoa.
undecided. We finally managed to rout these frosty forces from the capital, but it seems our busy days are not over now, or not over yet. Now we must decide which issue requires our attention most. And you, Eridor? The Crown City's finally back in Glenbrook's hands, but our work's far from over.
Listen, lad.
Where do you think we should go from here, lad? I really don't know. I think Gila's the last person we haven't talked to yet. And then we'll have to make our choice.
Ah, yes?
Things are slowly settling down in the capital. Right now would be the perfect time to pay the Rosellan village a visit. The rumors of bandits are clearly troubling her. Perhaps you could help put her mind at ease. You know, that's probably a good point. I feel like, honestly, it's the most pressing matter. Right? Like, it's the most pressing matter right now. Like, we could stand to wait a little bit before exposing the corrupt Royalists, right? Like, it's not necessarily... I mean, ideally we do it as soon as possible, but, like, saving lives is a much more pressing matter, I think. And then reporting to Lord Symon, I mean, that definitely can wait. And especially if Benedict's going there himself, like, that's not even really a concern of mine at all. Yeah, I'm really not concerned about Lord Symon. I think Benedict will be able to take care of that on his own. The Royalists, I mean, we've got Roland here, so I'm sure he can do something. I don't know. But I guess I don't really know who else he can really, like, rely on to help him out with that task, since we're gonna all be busy. But once again, I still think the most pressing matter is the Rosellan village, and I really want to make sure Frederica is safe. So I think we'll go there. Or, you know, at least I'll try. If I get vetoed, whatever. But we'll try to go to the Rosellan village. So start by trying to convince Huette. We should look into the bandits spotted near the Rosellan village. I'd have better luck talking to a stone wall. Funnily enough, she'd have an easier time being convinced to help to go return home to Lord Symon than to help look into the bandit problem. But whatever. You want us to make for the Rosellan village. Are you certain this is the best time for that? The Rosellan village is part of our domain. As Lord of Wolfort, it is my duty to see it protected. I have faith in Frederica, but there is no telling how many bandits await her. It is too dangerous for her to go alone. Now is the time for Roland to show his people what their new king is capable of. We must put our faith in him and focus our attention elsewhere. I mean, this is just true. From Lord of a high house to one of the saintly seven, your duties must be endless. I would not dare place undue demands upon you. And the Wolford domain is also a part of Glenbrook. Bringing peace to their village should also help stabilize things in the Crown City as well.
Okay.
I see now your reasons for wanting to visit the Rosellan village. Huette is deep in thought. She's probably still siding with Roland, but, you know, it was an effort. We made an attempt. I doubt she's going to side with us, but who knows? Eridor.
Listen, lad.
Well, I think we should look into the bandits near the Rosellan village. Also, would have better luck talking to a stone wall. I have a feeling we're going to get vetoed here. I have a feeling that they're going to vote in a way that I don't want them to. Because apparently it's hard to convince people to go to the Rosellan village to help them out. What the heck? I mean, I'd be fine with not going there as long as everything turns out okay, but I don't know that it will. And so I feel like this is really something we should do. So you want to accompany Frederica to the Rosellan village, eh? Yeah. My father promised that no harm would befall the Rosellan village, so I must do what I can to see that fulfilled. I'm curious as to what bandits would hope to find in the Rosellan village. They must have some goal to travel so far. That's true. But I think Eridor would be like all about, you know, this kind of thing. You're right. Lord Symon swore he would defend the Roselle from Hyzant, and it's fallen to us to do it in his stead. Jerome and the others might be in danger too. If this is the path we choose, we'd best make haste to that village. Thanks for that, lad. I think you might be right about the Rosellan village. Eridor is deep in thought. Still undecided, though. Alright, well, I guess it's just Anna. She's the last one. This one will not be easily swayed, but at least it's better than talking to a stone wall. I guess. This one will not be easily swayed. You would have us accompany Lady Frederica, my lord. I'm curious as to what the bandits seek in the Rosellan village. They would not go there without purpose. The Rosellan village, far though it may be, still falls within Wolfort, and I cannot turn a blind eye to anyone who seeks to disrupt our domain. Which one would be better? Just go with this one, I guess. Of course, it is your duty as Lord to think about such things.
Even so.
But our opponent would not be another nation's army, but simple bandits. I cannot help but wonder if that is truly a priority right now.
I need time.
Maybe I should have gone with the other thing. Oh well. Having bandits in our domain is certainly a problem that concerns House Wolfort, and yet Anna appears indifferent to your plea. Well, shoot. I guess if this goes south, we could always try again. Or if we get vetoed, I guess we'll see what happens. Every time so far, I think we got vetoed, what, once? Maybe twice? I don't remember. I think it was maybe once that we got vetoed. We got vetoed at least once, though. And things turned out just fine when we did, so I guess it's not really that big of a deal, but I don't know, we'll see what happens. But I guess it's time to commence the vote. We'll see what happens. I'm guessing we're not going to end up going to the Rosellan village. I did not feel too confident about that persuasion phase, but we'll see what happens. Voting.
It is time to cast our votes. We have 3 options before us. Return to the Wolfort domain, depart to the Rosellan village, or stay in the capital. Approach the scales of conviction with your token at the ready.
Obviously, we know how Roland, Benedict, and Frederica are voting. It's everyone else that matters. Well, also we know how Gila's voting. She's siding with Frederica, of course. She's indifferent to our plea. My apologies, Lord Serenoa, but I believe we belong here for now. I don't actually know what she voted for. Of the other 2 options.
Please, forgive me.
As a member of the Kingsguard, I think the capital and King Roland need us most. Yeah, she's voting for Roland still. And what are you doing, Eridor? You betraying me as well?
Can't see it your way.
Yeah. Sorry, lad, but I think we ought to resolve issues here first before going elsewhere. Well, yeah, we're definitely not doing what I wanted to do then. Why can't Serenoa get to cast a vote, man?
The path we've chosen.
Which path did we choose then? Are we staying here in the capital city? Because that's kind of what it sounded like we were doing. No, we're going home. Interesting. I see. So Anna and Eridor both voted to return to Wolffort. So the path... so the option that I thought was like... You know, the one I was least excited about doing is the one we're doing. Fun. Man, like, the persuasion phase is much more difficult than I thought it would be, but... Oh well. Because now it's like I can't even convince people to vote my way anymore. It's just not working out anymore, huh? Well, I guess we can try it out, but if like Frederica dies or something, then you can be sure that we are absolutely coming back here and making a different choice. I'll look up a guide if I need to to look up how to convince people to change to a different decision, if that's what it takes to get them to change their minds, but we'll stick with this for now and see what happens, I guess. Yeah, I guess we'll just go with this, and whatever happens is whatever happens, unless it's something that I deem to be, like, unacceptable. I still think, like, abandoning the Rosellan village is a terrible idea. I feel like they're going to get slaughtered, and Frederica herself might get, like, badly injured or die, which is my biggest concern. But I don't know, maybe things will be fine. Maybe she can totally handle it on her own. So, yeah, we'll see what happens, and if I don't like the outcome, we can just come right back to this point and do something different.
The way forward is decided. We return to the Wolffort domain with Benedict, and inform Father that we have reclaimed the capital.
Alright, well, there we have it. Apparently I'm not allowed to make decisions anymore in this game. Everything is decided for me.
I must return to the Wolffort domain, to my father's side.
Lord Symon will be most pleased to see you, I am certain.
Of course. Fulfill your duty to your father. I shall see to things in the capital.
And I shall attend to the Rosellan village. Please give Lord Symon my best.
Alright, don't die.
Oh, Lord Serenoa, you are returning home?
Alright, that's right. Milo's going with us since we ended up making that choice, I guess.
What perfect timing. I was thinking of heading to the Wolffort domain myself. Might I accompany you?
Milo, how'd you sneak into the castle?
Oh, let's just say I have my ways.
Did you just go and seduce some of the soldiers?
You might find the companionship of such a capable woman a boon on the road.
I know not what her aims are, my lord, but I do know she will be easier to watch by your side.
Indeed. All right, Milo, you may come. But you'll be put to work for the household. Understood?
Of course, my lord.
Then this is farewell for now. King Roland, Frederica, until our reunion in the capital.
Roland and Frederica left the party. Well, that's unfortunate. Well, hey, we might actually get to use a bigger variety of people in the next battle, since we're missing two of our usual party members. I knew it was a good thing that we gave some experience to people outside of our main party. A banner's worth completed. I will save my game, but I will save it to a different slot, because I am not confident that we won't be returning back to this moment. Because if things don't go well, I really don't want to end up sticking with them. It's not one of those things where I'm just committing to every path chosen for me. I mean, that's kind of how it's been so far, but, you know.
Once more under their control, the members of House Wolffort disperse to the various corners of the domain. Roland, for his part, works to rid the Crown City of his political enemies. Frederica repairs to the Rosellan village. Serenoa, Benedict, and the others, meanwhile, make a triumphant return to Castle Wolffort, where Lord Symon eagerly awaits their arrival.
Alright, Chapter 15, Part 2, When Our Paths Part. Well, I wonder what the battle is going to be for here, then. Because this seemed like the least likely to have a battle. Like, out of the three scenarios, this one seemed like the least likely to lead to battle. So it'll be interesting to see what actually ends up coming up.
The young rulers have returned.
You're back! You're back! You made it!
Show some respect, lad. They've driven Esfrost from our lands and brought the kingdom back from the brink. And one of them is no less than one of Hyzant's saintly 7.
Dare I say, an achievement greater than Lord Symon ending the Salt Iron War. Fills me with pride enough to think I'd done it myself.
I'm sorry, Mr. Lord King. I didn't mean it.
Mr. Lord King, that's definitely not right.
You've done nothing wrong. Address me as you please. I thank you one and all for your efforts in seeing us through to victory.
Oh, you are too gracious, my lord.
As is the Hierophant, who saw fit to bless us with a boatload of salt. And all thanks to you, Lord Serenoa.
The Hierophant, you say?
Oh, so we received a bunch of salt without even knowing about it. Interesting. Well, we're gonna have to pay for that later.
Wow, that's amazing!
Isn't it just? Bold is the nation that besmirches House Wolfort's honor now.
I reckon not even the king himself would speak ill of us now.
Course not. It was this lad what made that mask-wearing coward of a prince the king.
Jeez, don't call him a coward.
All hail House Wolfort.
All hail Mr. Lord.
Mr. Lord. Dang, they think more highly of Serenoa than of Roland. That's not
Serenoa is
necessarily a
truly
good
man
thing.
of the people.
And he's got the might to defend him. He's earned their trust.
And so he may as well be king. I must say I do appreciate a powerful man.
Sorry, Milo, but Serenoa is taken.
Perhaps I should cast my lot in with the future rather than the past.
The cowardly prince they refer to is King Roland, no doubt.
Familiarity breeds contempt.
I pray that's all it is. Hyzant's overtures are most bold. They mean to lure us in.
All right, cool. So I guess we'll call that good for now, I guess. I don't want this episode getting too long. Like, the last 2 episodes were pretty long, and I don't really want to make a habit of doing that. So I think we will just call that good for now. It was interesting what Milo said, though, like, I was saying she might cast her lot in with the future rather than the past. Like, I wonder what she meant by that. Because I know, is she saying, like, that, you know, Hyzant's ways are the ways of the past, and that, like, our ways are the ways of the future, and she's considering siding with us instead of Hyzant or something like that? I'm wondering what she meant by that. It's got me curious, but yeah, in the next episode we will knock out some more story stuff. It looks like we have a character side story to do, so we'll be able to get a new character, which is pretty cool. Especially if they're a high level, because that could be useful in whatever battle is coming up next, considering that we don't have Roland or Frederica with us. So yeah, in the next episode we'll go ahead and continue on with story stuff. I'm not sure how much story stuff is left. We did just make a decision on the Scales of Conviction, So I imagine a battle will be coming up somewhat soon. I don't know if we'll get to that in the next episode or not, because I don't know how much more story stuff we have before then, but we'll find out. Anyways, thanks for watching this episode. Hope you guys enjoyed it. If you did, be sure to like, comment, subscribe. All that good stuff would really help out the channel, and I would very much appreciate it. And yeah, next time we will continue on with story stuff, do this character story, see who we're going to get from that. And if we get to a battle, we might even get started with it, depending on how much time the story stuff takes. So yeah, once again, thank you guys so much for watching, and I'll see you guys next time. Peace.